Another day, another Trump supporter coming to the realization that they've been had.
Once again, I've been had.
You could say that they're waking up, becoming woke to the fact that Trump would see them get swept away by a tornado and not think two things of it. And I mean that literally. The states that have been ravaged by tornadoes over the last week have gotten little to no aid from FEMA or Donald Trump, despite their begging. And seeing as these are deep red states, I think this is more of a philosophy than a trend. Donald Trump is choosing to ignore natural disasters. He's not just failing to deliver because he's incompetent, although, yeah, he's that too. If you guys enjoy this kind of content that MAGA hates to see, hit the subscribe button and join our resistance here at Really American.
This is 15 years worth of stuff. There was a 16 by 80 mobile home here. FEMA, if you go on their website and put in Tollertown address, it says there's no federally declared disasters in your area. So I don't know. I don't know what you got to do or what you got to have to be able to be declared for a federal disaster area, because this is pretty bad.
We got an EF4 tornado come through the northern part of the county, and a short time later we had an EF3. This was two houses here that was tore down. We don't have a declaration yet. People are still hurting, no houses to go into.
We need federal help, and we need it desperately, and we need it now. And I know President Trump said that America first, we're going to help our American folks first, but we haven't seen the federal folks down here.
We can't help you because whatever, we're waiting on a letter. We're waiting on somebody to sign his name. You know, all that, I'm just over it.
And I feel for these guys. I mean, I don't want to see anyone's home being taken away by a natural disaster, but what the hell do you mean America first? You believed him when he said that? I mean, this is Mississippi. These guys are definitely Trump supporters. We're not talking about fire relief to LA here, right? It doesn't matter how deep red you are. Trump is not coming to save you. I mean, just ask Sarah Child Labor Sanders, who found out the hard way as she got smacked down twice by Trump when she requested federal disaster aid after Arkansas was hit with a series of tornadoes. She even appealed it and was still denied. These are MAGA voters who got shafted here. It's Sarah freaking Huckabee Sanders right there. She used to be the press secretary, and she can't even get disaster relief. Why the hell did the people of Mississippi think that they were going to get it? In fact, other than California, Washington, and Oregon, the West Coast being susceptible to earthquakes and fires and tsunamis and stuff like that, and the occasional hurricane that makes it up to New Jersey, the most natural disaster-prone states are all Republican. We're talking about Texas, Oklahoma, Florida, Arizona, New Mexico. And now with climate change, it's places like Arkansas, Mississippi, and North Carolina, where the Cheeto-in-chief just denied their request for natural disaster relief after another 6 months of waiting. Here's the governor of North Carolina, Josh Stein. FEMA has denied our appeal to cover 100% of our debris removal for another 6 months. This disappointing decision means it will cost North Carolina taxpayers more to clean up after Helene. But know this, we will not forget Western North Carolina. Now, last time, Trump denied the 100% relief, but gave 90%. But that doesn't seem to be the case this time. And either way, there are massive delays between each of these back and forths with the government. Travis Gresham of Canton, a town 20 miles west of Asheville, accuses Trump of setting FEMA up to fail. The president's conspiracy-laced campaign attacks convinced her neighbors to shun the agency, which has delayed reconstruction of a private road and a bridge, Gresham said. The surrounding community fell into the false claims like Biden pushed a button to send the hurricane to western North Carolina, that FEMA is merely a tool of the Democratic Party, and that the agency wanted to clear the land for lithium mining. Her neighbors believe everything Trump says because they view him as a golden god, Gresham said. Yeah, golden god who spends his time golfing instead of taking care of his constituents. I mean, this is a bit of a sidebar, but I don't know how any Christian can vote for this guy, as he literally paints himself as a golden idol worthy of Christ-like praise. I think there's a commandment about specifically not doing that. Maybe they should read those pesky commandments instead of trying to force them into every classroom. because their little false idol here is actively making things worse. Trump is hell-bent on getting rid of FEMA in its entirety, and also has appointed a climate change denying knuckle-dragger to head the EPA, who is actively pushing Trump's agenda to unravel the few climate change protections and regulations that we've managed to squeeze through our ineffective Congress. Here's the headline from CNN: Trump EPA drafting a rule that would undo decades of progress on limiting pollution from power plants. The proposed rule follows a March announcement from the EPA that it would overturn more than a dozen Biden-era air pollution and climate rules. Trump's EPA announced in March it was preparing to reconsider and strike down a consequential scientific finding on the dangers of climate pollution that has served as the basis behind federal regulations to curb them. Dismissing the precedent would strip the EPA's authority to manage the pollution that causes global warming. President Trump promised to kill the Clean Power Plan in his first term, and we continue to build on that progress now, EPA Administrator Lee Zeldin said in a statement. Climate groups blasted the move. People will pay the price, said Julie McNamara, Assistant Policy Director for the Union of Concerned Scientists Climate and Energy Program. In a statement, the Trump administration may attempt to illegally, impossibly, reprehensibly deny reality, but the record for climate action is long, and the case for climate action is unequivocal. The facts will win out. And if Trump rolling back critical climate protections that we fought tooth and nail to implement, if that wasn't bad enough, he's now trying to go in and stop states from protecting themselves from natural disasters. So much for states' rights, am I right, people? The Department of Justice is currently suing the states of New York and Vermont to stop them from enforcing laws passed last year that would make fossil fuel companies liable for some of the costs of dealing with climate change. It is also suing Hawaii and Michigan over their climate-related lawsuits against fossil fuel companies. I mean, Trump is so pro-natural disaster, if you peel back his orange mask, we might reveal Kronos the Titan in disguise like it's Scooby-Doo. This is clearly an ideological position for Trump. He doesn't just think that oil is good because he's getting greased up by the oil and gas companies, although he probably is. It's not that he believes that climate change isn't bad. It's that he believes it isn't bad for him. There is just too much moneyed interest coming from every industry, including his own, the building and development industry, who all stand to benefit from environmental deregulation. And he's so divorced from the consequences of his actions that the rest of us have to deal with. For example, did you know that the Rust Belt is now called the Parkinson's Belt because chemicals used during industrialization and agriculture have caused Parkinson's to be 10 times more likely in some places? Yeah, Trump doesn't give a shit about any of that kind of stuff, so he's not going to start caring about climate change. Even if Barron is destined to be the ruler of dust, as long as the Mad Max-style Thunderdome is Trump-branded, he doesn't see any issue with climate change. I'm Tony Hinderman with Really American, and I'll see you next time.